eyes open, my chest is full of fear, and I have to pee. It's too bright outside the window. I hear a leaf blower. I hear a siren. Sounds like 2 trucks this time. I know what that means now. The one that came for him drove methodically through the lights, telling me the story before I was ready for it. I reached for my big iPhone. Only 2:21 p.m. Already tried a cigarette and a hike before napping. Now napping is done. Way too early for wine. How to fill this gaping hole of time and pain. The beach. Walking the beach. Obsessive visits have filled hours of my time since it happened. I fill my woven shopping bag from Mexico with limp, sandy crabs and gooey mollusks, bits of shell, seaweed, coral, pieces of my heart. You're tall. That's the first thing I ever said to the man who would become my surprise love in middle age. Somehow, I can't remember his face that night, just his presence. Big, steady, safe. I'd gotten a call from my friend at 5 p.m. Come for a drink. I want you to meet someone. His wife died recently and he's not ready to date. So why am I coming to meet him? Future reference. At the restaurant, he collected the facts. What happened exactly? Where were you when he told you? Were you suspicious? Why did he leave you? Screenwriter. Pain in the ass. But it was good. It felt good. At the beach, after a swell, sea treasures just appear at my feet. I make a kind of artistic assemblage with them, giving them new life in a different shape, forcing something to make sense. I use marine-grade plywood. Lasts a lifetime. Whose lifetime are they talking about? He invited me to Burbank to the stables to look at the horses. He said to wear proper barn shoes. We walked up and down the aisles. We stopped and talked to horses, smushed their snotty noses, let them lick. We didn't touch each other. I got thirsty. He said, "There's a hose." So I drank. I didn't think about the hose having been on the ground with God knows what horse-related germs on the spout. I didn't care about those things. Neither did he. I passed the test. We finally came to rest at a picnic table. I asked him if he'd had a good marriage. He said she'd been his best friend. There are trophies at the beach. One extraordinary day, this is what I see. The usually hidden, bright purple, spiny sea urchins, cowrie shells, and abalone are literally scattered across the sand. I feel dazzled, dream-smacked, like I do when I walk into a particularly good tchotchke shop in Florida. I could scoop these things up like candy, handfuls and handfuls for free. But they're alive. I have a rule. Nothing living. But Jesus, if a handful of live mollusks could help me feel better, who cares? I pry a cowrie off one rock, despite the desperate suction fight it makes. The animal slithers back into its home. It thinks it's safe in there. Has no idea about the possibility of random lightning. A sudden heart attack. I pry off another and another. Am I hurting them? I don't know. I don't care. I put the cowries on a rock at my feet. Pristine, like shells from a shell shop. I want them so badly. My heart is beating like crazy. Maybe this is what people feel like when they're about to steal something from a department store. But here, no one is watching. Definitely not God. Maybe if I collect enough beautiful things, I can fill up the empty place, line them up on a shelf, and look at them over and over, willing them to soothe me. Like the hours spent chopping food together, sitting close on the couch, eating on TV trays, watching some comedy show I didn't care about, but didn't care I didn't care about. Finally, in bed, his hand slid under my thigh. Couldn't sleep touching, I'd thought, but he showed me how. Every moment, like a tiny, shiny something from the beach, strung together into hours of happiness. On the beach, the cowries on the rock are safe because, in the end, I cannot choose death, even a little one. I carefully wedge each one back into the water so it can reattach itself. A little guilt that I pulled them off in the first place, but just a little. They get to be alive after all. I look up finally at the ocean. It's hard to look at the landscape as a whole. I'm liable to see the spot where it happened. Paddling on huge surfboards as big as refrigerators, He's finally gotten the hang of it, but is working hard to keep his balance. So proud. Then I notice he is sitting on the board with those great white legs dangling uselessly in the water. We get out and walk back up the beach. He nauseated, unusually large beads of sweat on his brow, but playful as usual, spanking me with his paddle. I am, as usual, looking for things to collect even then, but checking on him sideways every few steps. And then, out of the corner of my eye, I see him fly up and backwards as if shot in the chest. He lands at the shoreline, the small waves dying at his side. And I scream. And I scream for help. I hold his head up off the sand and look into his eyes. Like plastic. Curly little lashes framing his small lost eyes. I can see that I won't be able to say goodbye. The waves break and break. End of their trip. But in my head they keep coming. A memory washes in and I can turn it over and over just like the sea star in my hand, marveling. Like when I would be frantically cleaning my room before he arrived, sweaty, hair crazy, sticking out every which way, and I would turn after picking up a shoe, and there he would be standing, his big, quiet self filling the doorway with a little smile on his face, watching me, bemused. And I would shriek in surprise and then beat him for scaring me, and he would chuckle. I want to go to Paris with you. I want to walk with you in Paris. We just met 8 days ago. I know, but I keep thinking about it. It just seems like you'd be the right person. We got to go to Paris. It was perfect. Somehow every shot shows us walking with our arms around each other's waist. Evidence. It was real. I look out at the water again. My mesh bag is full. This is me now, without him. Tiny broken pieces rescued from oblivion, from slow, inevitable crumbling. I'll go home, rinse the sand off the things I've collected, lay them out on a paper towel. Maybe I'll wash off my feet, maybe I won't. Later, I play with my new finds, move a piece here or there, until finally the way they look as a whole corresponds with some inner template. Then I glue them onto the plywood and enclose them in a plexiglass frame with a door so people can open it and touch the jewel-like objects. I always want to touch art myself. This is what I see. This is an idea of me put back together, arranged in a way that looks random but is deliberate and saving me. Thanks.